It's a staple of the Monday podcast.
It's new for me.
New for you.
These are all new for me.
And it's Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai. And we love Hyundai giving us this sponsorship for this segment. We always have fun, and this is where I get to be a newspaper journalist, or what do they call it? Not a producer. What the hell is a newspaper?
Editor.
Right.
That's the one thing. It's funny. One of the things I learned early in this business, because there would be headlines that don't really match the story, or the headline was stupid. The people who write the story don't write the headline.
Right.
But when it's a shitty headline, it gets thrust on the person whose name appears above the story as like, I didn't write the headline.
Right. They have somebody for this.
Yeah.
This is not my expertise. I just write the meat and potatoes here.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote this headline, and we're going down to Miami to start it right off. Dolphins defeat the Browns 39-17. And here's the headline. Tua, much credit. Tua, much credit. Yes, that's at you, Barstool, Big Cat, off, and Tuaing on. All right? There you go. All right. But either way, hey, yeah, that's all right. You want to join in? Let's crap on Big Cat while we're here.
Big Cat
He's
Big
trolling
Cat
us
sent
constantly.
us last night.
Right.
The image of the guy that's got the tour receipts sign,
which I think is old, right?
Media haters, and Big Cat's been crossed off.
Right.
He's gotten redemption somehow.
Yeah.
With Tua, they don't realize it's kind of like one of his bits where he'll like prop somebody up because he thinks it's funny,
right?
Like he
did with Blake Bortles.
He doesn't really mean it.
Yes.
You got to understand, folks. It's part of the bit. He doesn't really mean it, and so that would be a hell of a dinner party, though. That's the one thing I noticed yesterday.
We would have fun.
We'd have a good time.
We would have fun. And
Sit
again,
me right next to Colin Cowherd, and have a good time.
I'm having fun here. Okay, I really am having fun.
I don't know who Sean Payton SHAWN is. I don't know. Maybe he's related to Sean the coach. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Hey, again, Tua played great yesterday. I know that. I do. I just get sick of the Tua talk a little bit. And it's the greatest show on turf right now. I've never seen more people wide open and people flying around the football field. And again, I'm not trying to take away credit from Tua. I'm trying to just give it a little reality of just like, it is the most fun offense and the most talented offense in all of football. And, we were talking before the show, and I know I was talking during the game yesterday. I mean, I've never seen people more open and things more wide open on a football field right now. So they are the greatest show on turf. And I know Tua's playing really well, but I'm just having a little fun with this right here.
How much of this is Mike McDaniel, though? And
yes.
And how much of it is, like, and I don't want to... like McDaniel was out Shanahaning Shanahan.
Yeah.
Like he's taking it next level.
Well, I think he's got, just maybe a little bit more of an explosive two weapons on the edge to play with there. I think that's the biggest difference. I do. And then Tua, I'll say this, compared to Jimmy Garoppolo, he can make more plays off schedule and do stuff like that than Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Correct.
So that's where you look at it and go, he's got those advantages right there. But you're right. He has taken Shanahan's system, and with those guys, Waddle, and of course Tyreek Hill, and now Jeff Wilson added to the mix with Mostert, and Wilson's become the main guy there, and Gesicki work in the middle, and you got to worry about Sherfield, who's a really good. I mean, they just have a lot of things to play with, let alone he's got a lot of the Shanahan creativity and understands defenses and how to expose it.
And Jeff Wilson, 2 games in, he's already overtaken Raheem Mostert as the guy in the backfield. And, what Coach Dungy says is, let's see what they do when they're out in the elements in January in Buffalo or in Kansas City or somewhere like that. Will it travel? Will it translate? Will it work in the postseason?
That to me is the big thing. I said this last week, even I think on Dan Patrick I said it. I actually even think I said it to Dan Lebitard a little bit, where it's going to continue to look good, everybody. I'm not like, this isn't like, this is a well-orchestrated, game plan specific offense with incredible talent that puts pressure on you. So the stats are going to be there every week. But what we want to see is like, what's it going to be with some of the elite defenses in football? What's it going to look like in the cold weather up in New England, up in Buffalo? That's the big question. Those are the things that people doubted Tua, that have been down there in that organization, that he's going to have issues there. So the good thing for him is there's not a lot of defenses in football that can match up with them, but they're going to play some real defenses here down the stretch. And we'll see when they be able to take away some of the screen to Waddle here, short pass to Waddle there. Again, yesterday, Cleveland was so worried about stopping Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the edge and all of that. It opened up the run game. It opened up everybody else in the offense. That's what yesterday was. Yesterday was a day of, whoa, we're going to stop Waddle and Tyreek. Okay, great. You did a good job containing them, but everybody else was open all over the field. So we'll see where it goes in Miami. They are, I think, still, Miami, in my opinion, is a team that could go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, look, they're in first place in the division right now. I think the key is going to be getting home games in the postseason.
Yeah, right.
And if you can avoid having, it's like the SEC mentality. If you can avoid ever having to play a high stakes game in cold weather, and where do you go? You play playoff games at home, and you go to Arizona for the Super Bowl. You never have to deal with it.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
I think they could. The Chiefs are going to be the biggest challenge. I'd love to see Chiefs-Dolphins cross paths, and I'd like to see Bills-Patriots. We'll see that twice in the regular season and maybe in the postseason. I'd like to see Bills-Dolphins in the playoffs as well. They've got one more game in Buffalo later this year.
Well, they do. They got at San Francisco. They got the bye week this week. They got the Texans after that. But then they're at San Francisco, at the Chargers, at Buffalo, Green Bay at home, at New England.
So we'll see Shanahan versus we'll see mentor and student.
You're right.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, that's going to be, to me, the final test for Tua, the offense, and of course how strongly we feel about them. Maybe getting to the Super Bowl or making a run in the AFC playoffs. All right, next headline. All right, as the guy is
leaf blowing
outside during a live TV show. There's
no
seriously
leaf.
like 2 leaves on the ground. And he's blowing.
Well, at what point do you just go pick them up?
I don't know. What is he doing? He's a Tua fan probably. He's like, that asshole, I'm going to ruin his show. All right, here we go. Next game, Lions-Bears, 31-10. Lions, 31-30, excuse me. Dan Campbell gets his first road victory. Ever. And I'm going to go... no home field's advantage. Oh, that was a good one.
Here's what's amazing to me. I love this stat. The Bears are the first team in NFL history to rush for 225 or more yards in 5 straight games.
It's amazing.
And they're 1-4.
1-4. I know. It's the amazing thing of this year of teams rushing for 200 yards or dominating in the run game, where our whole football lives have been, wait, if you dominate in the run game like that, you're going to win a game. And this year we're seeing teams lose more than ever with that. Justin Fields is phenomenal. And that's, again, we had fun there with the no home field's advantage. But his skill set and what he does has changed their football team. Again, this is 4 weeks in a row of 30 points. I know one game was 29 points in Dallas, but you know what I'm saying here. The unveiling of that quarterback design run offense has absolutely changed their football team. It's changed him. They're fun to watch because of it, and I think he's officially the best running quarterback in football. He dethrones Lamar Jackson in that.
Next year is going to be their year. Because I assume Aaron Rodgers will be gone.
Yeah.
And, the Vikings will no longer be pulling shamrocks out of their asses. The Lions will still be the Lions, and the Bears will have an opportunity with the cap space, cash, draft picks to be dramatically improved.
This is a little bit of a heartbreaking loss, in my opinion, for the Bears. I'm happy for the Lions.
They should have won it.
Well, right. And let's just hit that. There's one point in the game that I think was another referee taking over the game in a moment where you just go, please stay out of it, and you didn't really see what happened here, so don't throw the flag. But it's 24-10. The Bears are total control of the football game. I believe it's 1st and 10. Lions got the ball around the 18-yard line. It's right around there. Jared Goff throws an interception down the middle. They call illegal hands to the face on, I think it was Johnson, their corner for the Chicago Bears. It was not. He just had a phenomenal jam at the line of scrimmage where he hit the guy in the chest, and the guy fell down. And I think the referee just saw the guy on the ground and said, I think he did something illegal. So that gives Detroit the ball back. They then score a touchdown 2 plays later. It's 24-17. Then 2-3 plays later, Justin Fields throws a screen pass, forces it, shouldn't have done it. His worst mistake of the game, interception, pick 6 by Jeff Okudah. And now it's a 24-24 game where it should have been 24-10 Bears with the ball, and their offense was kind of unstoppable at that point. They were going up and down the field on Detroit at that point. And that, to me, changed the game, and that's a shame. But I will give the Lions, continue to fight, Jared Goff made some plays for sure, and a good win for the kneecappers.
Yeah, the Lions very much alive, winning 2 in a row in the division after being left for dead at 1-6. They still got a lot of work to do to get themselves back into it, but they keep winning football games, and everything else will take care of itself.
I don't see how it happens with that defense ultimately, but I could see them being a pain in the butt here and being in some close games where they lose.
And look,
for sure.
even after they blew that lead, Justin Fields had another phenomenal run, and it never looks like he's running full speed.
It's amazing. It really is. He's a special talent. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But ultimately, Goff made some big throws. Last drive of the game, the biggest throw being to Kennedy down the middle on like a crossing route for a 44-yard gain. I really think, I'm going to say this again, I've had some people like, what do you mean by this? Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl. I said this is Jared Goff's best year of his career. And I stand by that statement, and I just say that because, you've heard me say the years with Jared Goff, we were just like, it was silver platter. It was, hey, throw a screen to Gurley, and he runs for 90. And, we fake the run to Gurley and fake the speed sweep, and I throw to a guy out in the flat for 3 yards, and he runs for another 70. He is actually making throws and plays and bigger moments, and it's not just delivered to him with McVay, mad scientist plays there. So that's where I say that. But good for them, 3-6. And you're right, still got a fighting chance here, and as far as the NFC is concerned, but more likely than not that they're going to be out of the playoffs and just a pain in the butt. All right, now we go to Vegas. Nashville. Tennessee Titans defeat the Broncos 17-10. And the headline for that game is no win Wilson. No win Wilson once again.
It's supposed to be a
Owen Wilson, win Wilson. Right. Yeah. Wilson!
He wore a wristband for the second straight game, which is good. I didn't realize he had worn a wristband in their most recent game.
I didn't either.
Win over the Jaguars.
I did not either.
And you know what happened?
Right.
Brett Rippon played for him week 7, wore a wristband.
Right.
And I don't know if he got shamed into it, but, everything you said last week was said also by Nathaniel Hackett. Also, crowd noise is a factor, too. It makes it easier to get the play communicated. So, and it wasn't a blowout. They were ahead for a while. It just, you got to muster more than 10 points.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah.
Their defense keeps getting it done, but if you're only going to score 10 points or less, you're not going to win football games.
That's right. I mean, their defense is phenomenal. But 21 of 42, 286, 1 TD, 1 interception. Probably had 2 or 3 other passes that should have been intercepted that he was very lucky with. Continues to struggle. Continues to have moments of sitting back there where you go, I don't know what he's looking at. And I don't know. It's just one of those games, again, where Vrabel and company love these games. This is their kind of thing, right, Mike? This is why we love Vrabel. He's kind of just like, yep, we can't throw it. We're going to run and play defense, and we're going to win no anyways. And that's where it's – I respect it. I do. And their defense, their pass defense, Mike, I know I said it last week after the Kansas City game, to me it's getting special. And I know they had no Jeffrey Simmons yesterday, but, man, are they – just incredibly creative on the back end. They had a little bit of a creative. They do a lot of stuff, and that's why they gave up that first 66-yard touchdown pass. They kind of blew the coverage. But, man, after that, they settled in. They were dominant. And then it's always like Vrabel has that feel, right, of like Belichick or even Bill Parcells.
No excuses, no matter how many guys are injured.
Right, and then I know when to call a trick play.
Yeah.
And then the big play of the game was the flea flicker to Westbrook Akina that gave them the lead. They never really looked back from that point on. And Tennessee, 6-3, not sexy, but man, I wouldn't want to see them coming into town in the playoffs.
There's nothing about the Titans that gets people's attention. There's nothing about the Titans that gets people excited. Every week I've noticed the betting line is lower than it should be because I don't think people bet on the Titans.
Right.
They don't like betting on the Titans, and that suppresses the number. They were 12.5-point underdogs at Kansas City, and we were like, what are we missing? They're 2.5-point favorites against the Broncos. What are we missing? And it's not like they won by 20, but they won by a touchdown.
That's
I
all
would
they
have
care
expected
about.
they win by a touchdown.
Right,
yeah.
right. That's who they are. I don't think they care. And they're a team that's like, well, we're going to win by a touchdown to 3 points, and that's just the way it's going to be. I wanted to give Ryan Tannehill a little credit. They didn't run the ball very well yesterday. He made a lot of big throws. Of course, the flea flicker was a great game plan design, but on their first drive, too, the 13-play, 75-yard drive that made it 10-7 when the Broncos had the early lead, I just had to reference it because I made in my notes. I mean, it was an incredibly clutch drive, and he had a tremendous amount of high-level big passes that got them down there. And again, where I just want to give him a little credit too is there's no weapons there in Tennessee in the pass game. So it is really going to be run game and him having to thread the needle in the pass game and relying on that defense. And I think they're very comfortable with that. All right, that was Give Me the Headlines presented by Hyundai, excuse me.
It's always important to have that.
Hyundai, excuse me.
Right?
I don't know. I can't talk right
Hyundai.
now. I'm still waking up, all right? But that was a good segment. Had fun with that as always. And thank you to Hyundai for giving us money and letting us have a great segment like that. Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my Unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.